Hey there everybody, and welcome back to Frank's Collecting Castle. My name as always is Daniel, and today we're going to start to take a look at my Italian collection. So that covers all horror and giallo and poliziesco and all that good stuff, and it's going to be at least 2 parts because I don't want to rush and I want to talk a bit about some of the movies. And yeah, I figured we'd start with the DVDs and then get into the Blu-rays and box sets and all that good stuff. But before that, I have 3 books that one is particularly Italian, and these 2, After the World Ends and Barbarians from Conan to He-Man, are not specifically Italian, but they have Italian movies in them. So when Conan hit, of course, the Italian filmmakers were not late to jump on that trend and make their own sword and sandal movies. So there's a lot of them in this book. We have, for example, Conquest. We have Iron Master. And I was thinking we could take one of them, but they did a lot of these types of movies. I'm gonna try to find Iron Master, for example, was made by Umberto Lenzi. So we go to page 98. It's 63, 75, 85, 89, 97, 98. Iron Master, directed by Umberto Lenzi. It's gonna show up here in a minute. So just wanted to show this off a bit. So in Italy, they made a lot of these types of movies, the sword and sandal movies. They were very quick to do. Here's another Italian movie. This is The Throne of Fire by Francesco Prosperi. Some of the alternate titles. Or Prosperi, sorry for the pronunciation. But the Italians were always very quick when it came to popular movies. When Jaws became popular, they made 1,000 shark movies. When Alien became popular, they made 1,000 Alien movies. And it was, I'm sorry, this type of stuff. And obviously when Conan hit, they did 1,000 sword and sandal movies. They were very quick to do trends. So this is not an Italian movie. This is Thor. So by Anthony Richmond, I should say, or Tonino Ricci. Italian directors and actors always like to use English-speaking names for whatever reason, because it sounded better. They thought it sounded better. Look at these posters. These are awesome posters. Here's another Italian one, Fire and Ice, directed by Ralph Bacci. No, sorry. This was a United States one, but this is a wonderful, wonderful book from Pulse Edition, Pulse Video. So now I kickstarted this one. This came out, as you can see, last year. So this is a part of a French company that produces these wonderful, wonderful books. And I have 2 other books from this company incoming that I have kickstarted. One with the Trinity, Bud Spencer and Terence Hill. And it also called They Call Me Trinity, and also a documentary about them and their movies. And I also have a movie called Cannibal Worlds, which is about the Italian cannibal genre. Those should be coming in December. But those are both Kickstarters, just as this. And here we have the post-apocalyptic movies. They were also very quick to follow that trend, of course. With the, let's see if we can, just like Endgame, for example, page 71. But I was thinking, the Bronx Warriors, that's another one. Page 50, oh, let's go check it out here. So I would recommend these books. Overall, these are beautiful books. Let's see, of course it was inspired by, you know, Mad Max, and there you see it. The Death Race movies, but they made a lot of these post-apocalyptic movies. Very funny, very entertaining to me. But the third and last book that is very Italian specific is Splintered Visions, Lucio Fulci and his films by Troy Howarth. And if you're watching a lot of Italian movies, giallo, horror, and poliziesco, Troy Howarth is a guy who does a lot of audio commentaries. So he's a genre expert, he's Italian cinema expert, and this is his book about Lucio Fulci. He's written a lot of books. This is gonna do like that. This is definitely one of his better. This is it. Goes through the entire life and career of Lucio Fulci. And you really learn a lot. So he goes through his childhood and goes through everything, and then he goes through every single movie he made. This is a hell of a book, and I definitely recommend this one. Or Gates of Hell, City of the Living Dead. Here's the Beyond, right? Yep. This is a great book if you want to learn more about the production of the movies and learn more about Lucio Fulci himself. You can get it on Amazon, that's what I did. So that's Splinter Visions, Lucio Fulci and his films by Troy Howarth. So those were the books that I just wanted to show off before we get into the DVDs. And let's just put the first one out, and that is Lucio Fulci and The Smuggler, or more known as Contraband. Now this is quite a bad edition. This is one that I really need and want to upgrade, and I'm going to do that at some point. This is a great movie by Fulci, one of his very few poliziesco movies, or Eurocrime if you want to call it that. Maybe the only one he did, which is a bit sad because I think Fulci could have done a lot of really good poliziesco movies. But this is not a great edition. It's kind of a cheapish edition of the movie. So I'm gonna try to get a nice Blu-ray edition of this. But I'm not like in any rush. So you can see, this is just like the cheapest edition you could possibly find, right? So I really need to upgrade this one. Really want to upgrade this one. I just want to find a price point that is comfortable for me. And then we have, yep, I know I'm not supposed to say that word, cannibal, but this is the Cannibal Collection, 3 movies in one set. We have The Lost Cannibal World. We have Amazonia, the Catherine Mills story, and we have Man from Deep River. Man from Deep River is by Bertolensi, and I'm not sure who directed those other 2 movies. This is a nice set though. Have it in these. Oh, it's a loose disc. That's not too good. And let's see, it doesn't say who directed Lost Cat. Came out in 1977. Amazonia. As you can see, this is not, because the discs are loose here. This came out in 85, and Man from Deep River came out in 72. So I know that Man from Deep River is by Umberto Lenzi. I don't know these two. Because it doesn't say. Well, anyway, that's that set. I'm gonna take that away and move on to something completely different. And that is Eurocrime, the Italian cop and gangster films that ruled the 70s. This is a fantastic documentary. If you don't know anything about Eurocrime, Polizieschi, however you want to pronounce it, this is a wonderful introduction to Eurocrime movies and the Eurocrime genre that was huge in the 70s and made huge stars of like Thomas Milian, Fabio Testi, Maurizio Merli. It's a wonderful, wonderful documentary. It's about 2 hours, a bit over 2 hours long. Interviews pretty much all the great living actors and directors and all that. It doesn't have Thomas Milian or Maurizio Merli because both have passed on, unfortunately. I don't know if I think it's available on Blu-ray as well. I got this from Amazon, and this is just absolutely fantastic. And if you're into Polizieschi, this is just another great addition to it. The good thing is, so this is a DVD. The documentary, as I said, it's about a bit over 2 hours. The special features is 4.5 hours, so it's a dual layer disc. As you can see, we have the ultimate Polizieschi trailer shootout, over 100 minutes of trailers from all the movies they talk about in this documentary. It's like 33, 35 movies they talk about at least, and you have all these trailers for all. There we go. It's 127 minutes long, plus 4.5 hours of extras. You get more outtakes and more interviews and stuff like that. So that is so cool how you can fit all that in to one DVD, because you usually don't have 4.5 plus 2, so 6.5 hours on one DVD. It's great quality too. I'm sure the DVD Blu-ray will look even better, but this is a hell of a documentary, and I highly recommend it, whether you're into Polizieschi or you've never seen a Eurocrime movie. I definitely recommend this documentary. Absolutely fantastic. And talking about the Sword and Sandal, here we have Iron Master by Umberto Lenzi himself. So this is the Swedish edition. Very cool cover. Could have been, looks like it could have been done by Frank Frazetta, right? As it comes with these types of movies, the cover is usually better than the actual movie itself. But this is a lot of fun. I love these types of movies. Get some beautiful ladies. Does it say when it came out in 83? So that is Iron Master. Okay, then we have Bird with the Crystal Plumage. So this is part of the Dario Argento collection. I don't have all of them. There was a box set, and they all look like this. I do have another, of course, I have a Blu-ray of this, but that's coming up later. But this is obvious. This is, of course, Dario Argento's very feature debut. I think this is a fantastic movie. To be honest, I think it's one of his best movies. It absolutely is, and it coming out as his first movie. It's quite the directorial debut. even though he did not like the lead actor, Tony Musante. He really didn't like him at all. Did not get along with him, but the movie is absolutely stunning. And I've talked ad nauseum about it, and I'm going to talk more about this when we get to the Blu-ray of Bird with Crystal Plumage. So next up we have the Wax Mask. This is actually directed by Sergio Stivaletti, but it was supposed to be a collaboration between Dario Argento and Lucio Fulci, because for a lot of years, Lucio Fulci and Dario Argento didn't sit well with each other. They really didn't like it. Or it was more Lucio Fulci didn't like Dario Argento for whatever reason. But towards the end of Fulci's career and life, fortunately, he was very, very sick and ill, and he had like hepatitis. And well, Argento sort of mended fences, and they decided they were going to do this movie together. But unfortunately, Fulci passed away, so it went to Sergio Stivaletti, but it's still, I think, it's produced by Argento. Is this a great movie? No, it's not. It's not really good, to be honest. It's not one of his best movies. It has some good things in it, but overall, not one of the better ones. Then we have the Stendhal Syndrome. Oh no, sorry. That's not the Stendhal Syndrome. That comes later. This is the Phantom of the Opera with Julian Sands. And, of course, Argento's daughter, Asia Argento. Now, just to go back a little bit to this, when Fulci passed away, Argento paid for the funeral services and all of that good stuff. So they mended fences in the end. And unfortunately, they were not able to make this one. So this is Phantom of the Opera. As I said, Dario's daughter, Asia, who starred in a lot of his movies, and the late, great Julian Sands, who unfortunately also passed away, was it last year, when he went missing, right? This is another okay movie. It's not the very best, but I think when you look at Dario Argento, his earlier stuff, I would say up until Inferno, are really great. Then it becomes, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You get some good stuff and you get some not so good stuff. But this is in the middle of the road. I think it's pretty damn good. Then we have Cat o' Nine Tails, part of his Animal trilogy. I think this is an okay movie. It's not one of my favorites, but it's an earlier movie, but it's good. Not one of his very best. And we have the Stendhal Syndrome. Once again, we have Asia Argento in this one. So that is the Stendhal Syndrome. This is a pretty good movie. And then I happen to have 2 copies of the documentary, An Eye for Horror. Just, they look a little bit different. It's brighter blood, I guess, or brighter red here. Otherwise, it's completely the same. Nothing different there. So that's the Eye for Horror. So that's the Argento collection. I think it's also has Tenebrae and Suspiria. Another movie that is not actually Italian, but it's very much Italian. It's Berberian Sound Studio, about this guy, Toby Jones, I think his name is, real life, who's a sound effects guy. And he is invited to Italy to make special effects for a Giallo movie. So this is very much a Giallo movie. very much an Italian movie, even though it isn't an Italian movie. This is more like a tribute and an homage to old Italian giallo movies. But I definitely recommend it. It's very interesting. Yeah, you have to be in the... It's really, really very... It's an interesting movie. That's I can say that. Moving back to Lucio Fulci, we have The Black Cat. His adaptation of the Poe story, The Black Cat. I like this movie. It's pretty damn good. So it has David Warbeck and it has the beautiful Mimsy Farmer in it. This apparently, back in the day, cost $4. I think I paid like $2 for this edition. This is just a old DVD, but I like this movie. It's pretty damn good. Entertaining enough. Then we have Michele Soavi's The Sect. I just got this not like a couple of weeks ago, so I haven't had time to see it yet. This is the German edition. Would have liked to have a nice Blu-ray of this, but I at least have it. So a lot of these movies that I have on DVD, I would love to get an upgrade if I don't already have one, but you got to find a good price point for them. So I haven't had an opportunity to watch it yet, but I do like Michele Soavi and his other movies, and I do have other movies to show off by Michele Soavi coming up, actually, just in a little bit. But first up, we have Ruggero Deodato's Cut and Run, which this is an insane movie. Is it a like cannibal movie? Is it? I don't know. This movie doesn't make sense at all. I watched it and I didn't understand it. But that's how it usually is when it comes to a lot of Italian horror movies. They don't make any sense. You just watch them and experience them because they're like just set pieces. They're not a cohesive, logical story. And this is not a cohesive, logical story, but it features the great Michael Berryman. I couldn't tell you what this movie is all about. It was just fun. It's just fun to have. So I picked it up from Amazon. Do you have some special? This is a German edition. A original trailer. We have documentation, cut and run, interviews, and then I don't understand the German here. So this edition is from 2022, so it's kind of new. Nice disc art, though. But it was an entertaining movie, but I didn't understand it. But yeah, entertaining for what it is. Moving on to some Umberto Lenzi, we got Nightmare Beach. Now, I do have actually the 88 Films Blu-ray incoming. So that we're gonna get to that later when we get to the Blu-rays, because it'll come in the next couple of days. But this is another entertaining movie. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but fun. Once again, it's one of those movies that it doesn't make sense. But we have the great John Saxon in it. You can watch it on Amazon Prime. When did this come out? This edition came out in 2006. As I said, I do have the 88 Films Blu-ray. And let's just say, that's Nightmare Beach. I do like this movie. It's very entertaining. And here's a movie that is very damn good, and that is The Red Queen Kills 7 times. Special uncut edition. That's cool. So The Red Queen Kills 7 Times by Emilio P. Miraglia. Eye Catcher Movies. This is a great movie. Big fan of this one. And I would love to have a Blu-ray of this. And I know that Arrow released a Blu-ray of this about 10 years ago. Of course, that is out of print and way too expensive. But I would love to get it. But this is a nice edition, though. Great movie. Big fan of this movie, to be honest. And if you can find it on Blu-ray or DVD like this, go ahead and pick it up. So this edition came out in 2009. I'm not sure when the actual movie came out. This doesn't say, unfortunately. Well, it's too bad. This is a German edition, though. This was a great movie. Actually has some alternate cover. We don't usually get that for DVDs. And that is The Red Queen. The Red Queen Kills 7 Times. So we also had the name, the Lady in Red Kills 7 Times. And like a lot of these Italian movies, they have 15 different titles, depending on, can have 15 different titles in Italy. And then when they go abroad, they get another title. But The Red Queen Kills 7 Times, great freaking movie. I highly recommend this one. Here's a movie that I got just a couple of days ago, so I haven't had time to watch it. That is Mountain of the Cannibal Gods. And it features the original Bond babe, Ursula Andress and Stacy Keach. How about that? So 2 big stars. Ursula Andress, who was the very first Bond girl, Bond babe, however you want to name it. She was in that movie with Sean Connery when she came out of the water and looked amazingly stunning. So it features her and the great Stacy Keach. So I have not seen this one yet. As I said, I got it just a couple of days ago. We have just the, do get a little bit of a booklet. That's pretty nice. And the booklet, unfortunately, is in, this is Norwegian, so I can understand that. There's a young Stacy Keach. Back in the day when he was young. So we actually get quite a big, nice booklet. Oh, sorry, you can't show that. Here on YouTube, of course. That's that movie. It's a nice edition. Moving on, we got some more Argento. Not one of his best movies. This is Mother of Tears, and the Mother of Tears trilogy, of course, with Inferno and Suspiria. This is definitely the worst one. It's not a good movie. One of Argento's really worst movies, to be honest. Yeah, it's just, it's not a very good one. And this is a cheap edition I got for, I don't know, $2. Happy to have it though. Okay, back to Michele Soavi and Stage Fright. This is a good one. I really enjoy Stage Fright. It's a lot of fun. And obviously, Michele Soavi worked with Dario Argento, he worked with Fulci, he worked with a lot of people, but you can see how heavily influenced he was by Dario Argento. You can see it in his filmmaking, and especially a movie like Stage Fright. It has the fingerprints of Dario Argento all over it. It really does. But it's really, I'm a big fan of this movie. This is so entertaining. Once again, it's ludicrous, but it's a lot of fun. You cannot go wrong with this. I would love to have a nice Blu-ray of this as well, but I have this edition, and it works. It's a nice edition. So that's Stage Fright by Michaela Soavi. Okay, then we have Delirium with Mickey Haggerty and Rita Caldron. Directed by Renato Polselli. I'm sorry for the pronunciations. I hope you can forgive me. This is a weird movie once again. Completely insane. A lot of like sex in it. You had two versions of it here. You have both the uncut, uncensored international version and the alternate American version, which is probably more tame and all that stuff. That's Delirium. Then we have The Cold Eyes of Fear. We got music by Ennio Morricone. Nice giallo thriller. This is by Enzo G. Castellari. He didn't do a lot of giallo movies. He mostly did Poliziescos. So this is one of his few giallos. I like this disc art. The eye right there. Very cool movie. Moving on to Shameless, we have Torso by Sergio Martino. So this is the DVD. Notice the characteristically yellow covers by Shameless to make them stand out. You can go to shamelessfilms.com. They have a lot of good stuff. Shameless. I do enjoy that company. And I do have some alternate artwork. I'm gonna pause it and let's see. Does it have alternate artwork? Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's. I'm gonna pause it and flip it around. And there we go. That's the alternate artwork. It's always nice to have some alternate artworks. But that is Torso by Sergio Martino. Moving on to another Michaela Soavi movie presented or produced by Dario Argento, and that is The Church, La Chiesa. I do have a nice Blu-ray of this as well, but this is this is the Shameless edition. We have Shameless logo right there. Apparently number 47. Let's see if Torso had any numbering. No, well it did, number 4. Do have some specials. We have an interview with Michaela Soavi. So that's nice. I like this movie. This is a lot of cool. This is a really good movie. Really entertaining. It's really well made. And I'm gonna pause it and we're gonna flip it around so you can see the other alternate cover. There's the alternate. It's really well made. It almost looks like a Hollywood movie. I think Soavi's movies, when you look at his filmmaking, like Stage Fright and like The Church, they more reminded me, anyway, of Hollywood productions. But it's very cinematic. It's very good looking. And The Church, I do really recommend this one. I'm a big fan of The Church. Great movie. And I think Severin has like a 3-disc edition of it. I would love to get that one, but it's region locked. So, but at least I have this one, and I have a Blu-ray, but that's coming up later. So that is The Church. And we have Knife of Ice. This is the Japanese edition of Knife of Ice. I love this cover. It doesn't make sense. It looks so fun, right? You know, I can't read a thing. It's in Japanese, which is funny. Just an odd addition to have. You can get a little bit of a booklet this edition. Oops. Not even a booklet, a pamphlet. But yeah, if you can read Japanese, that'd be great. I can't. Guess it's some kind of filmography. This is an Umberto Lenzi movie, by the way. I'm a big fan of Umberto Lenzi. You're gonna notice that when you get to the Blu-rays. Next up is a Lamberto Bava movie. That is A Blade in the Dark. Another movie that, once again, it doesn't make sense, but it's a lot of fun. It has a great score. And it has an actor, he's also in the New York Ripper. He looks so much like Topher Grace. It's creepy, almost. It's so much fun how he looks like Topher Grace. But this is a fun movie. I really enjoyed this one. So it's Lamberto Bava, Mario Bava's son, obviously. Get a little bit of a pamphlet here. She basically had a filmography of Lamberto Bava. That's pretty cool, right? You can see a lot of the stuff that he did. So that's pretty cool. Get some of the bloodier scenes. It's a good movie. I really enjoy it. It's about Topher Grace plays this guy who makes movie scores for horror movies. Not Topher Grace. I just want to call him Topher Grace. I don't know his name, fortunately. We have, what could his name be? Could it be Stanko Molnar? No, I'm not. No, I don't think so. Anyway, really entertaining movie. Moving on to something that I love this movie for whatever reason. I know it's a horror, it's like really grimy movie, and that is The House on the Edge of the Park by Ruggiero Deodato, with David Hess, with Giovanni Lamberto Radice, with Annabelle. I know it's a grimy, sleazy movie, but I'm a big fan of it. Once again, has an amazing soundtrack. Amazing soundtrack. The performance by David Hess and Umberto Lamberto. Jesus, I'm Giovanni Lamberto Radice. I'm sorry, I'm just going insane, apparently. Here we have the cast. The performances by Giovanni, by David Hess, by Annabelle is fantastic. Yeah, it does have some strong scenes, but not horrible. It's not worse than anything else you see in a typical Giallo movie with slashers, you know, stuff like that. So I don't know why it has this reputation of being like a true video nasty and absolutely horrible movie. I think it's a really good one. Oh, I can't show that, of course. That's one of the more infamous scenes in this movie. But I am... So these two guys, Giovanni and Alex and Ricky, they come off as bad guys first, especially Alex. But it's like an interesting conundrum in this movie because it asks you a question: are these two really the bad guys? So this is like a home invasion movie, I would say. It is pretty much a home invasion movie. It asks some interesting questions, and it's really well made. Is it Deodato's best movie? Is it better than Cannibal Holocaust? I don't know. This is really good. I know Severin has released this beautiful 3-disc edition. Fortunately, that's regional locked. Otherwise, I would have it immediately. But yeah, I am a big fan of this movie. Then we have Lucio Fulci's Enigma, which I have the 88 Films Blu-ray. We're going to get to that later, of course. So this features Jared Martin and beautiful Susan Kendall. Oh. So this is the DVD. This is a movie that was later in Fulci's career. I think it's really fun. I think it's really entertaining. Does it make all that much sense? No, it really doesn't. But it doesn't matter because it's Lucio Fulci. And they don't have to make too much sense in a way, but they're really entertaining. Once again, it has a great score. Fantastic soundtrack. And talking about Lucio Fulci, we continue with one of his sword and sorcery movies, fantasy movies, and that is Conquest. I was really happy to get this one. This is the only edition I was able to find. Look at that cover. That is so cool. Really good looking cover. So this is from Blue Underground. Must be available on Blu-ray or something. Very entertaining movie though. More Lucio Fulci. This is House by the Cemetery. I do have a nice Blu-ray of this, and I want to get other editions. This may be my favorite Fulci movie. Really, of all the great movies that he did, and he made so many great movies: City of the Living Dead, The Beyond, Zombie Flesh Eaters. For some reason, I like this the best, House by the Cemetery. I don't know why, just do. I love everything about it. Catriona MacColl is in this. Of course, we have an amazing soundtrack. The score in this movie is absolutely beautiful. I love this movie so much. I think this is a great movie. Yeah, and I have the 88 film, or I have the Arrow Films standard Blu-ray, but I would love to get the window box edition or the box set that came out as well. But this is the DVD. And the final thing I'm going to show off today is another Lucio Fulci, and that is Voices from Beyond, one of his final movies. And it has some redeeming factors, but this is not a very good Fulci movie. Unfortunately, it's just slow. Nothing. It's just really slow and nothing happening. It's not very good, unfortunately, because I love Lucio Fulci. Lucio Fulci is my favorite director. I just love Lucio Fulci movies, and it saddens me to say that this is not very good. But yeah, that's it. We've gone through my DVDs and a couple of the books. And well, that's part one. Next part, we're going to do the Blu-rays and box sets. And I'll hope you be back and watch part two. And well, we'll see you all soon again. Bye.